Have you ever stared at a page of notes, just willing the information to stick, only to have it all vanish by the next morning? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, today, we're diving into a secret weapon for your brain, the mnemonic. We're going to uncover the strange, the hilarious, and the powerful science behind memory hacks that can help you absolutely crush any exam.
Take a look at this. This is just part of the list of the 12 cranial nerves. Now, if you're a med student, seeing this probably fills you with a very special kind of dread. For the rest of us, this is basically what information overload looks like. It's a dense, intimidating wall of words that your brain just wants to shut down and ignore.
So this is the big question, right? How on earth are you supposed to cram all of this into your head before a test? It feels impossible. You find yourself rereading it for the 10th time and still nothing is sticking. It's a universal problem for anyone anywhere who's trying to learn something new. But what if I told you there is a secret weapon? A kind of cheat code for your brain that can transform that terrifying wall of text into something simple, memorable, and maybe even a little fun. It's time to meet the mnemonic.
So what is a mnemonic? At its core, it's a memory device. It's any system that helps you remember something by connecting new information to something you already know, like a catchy phrase, a rhyme, or a simple acronym. It takes all that abstract data and gives it a hook that your brain can actually grab onto.
And the transformation is, well, it's incredible. On the left, you've got that raw, intimidating list of all 12 cranial nerves. But on the right, a simple, almost lyrical sentence. Each word in that sentence starts with the same letter as a cranial nerve, in the correct order. Olfactory, optic, oculomotor, you get the idea. Suddenly, the impossible becomes totally manageable.
But wait, it gets better. What about another whole layer of information? Like the function of each nerve. Is it sensory, motor, or both? Guess what? There's a mnemonic for that too. Some say marry money, but my brother says big brains matter more. The first letter of each word tells you the function of the corresponding nerve right down the list. S, S, M, M, B. It's an unbelievably efficient way to stack information in your head.
Okay, so that's the theory. Now let's get into the good stuff, some of my favorite real-world examples. We're diving into a little hall of fame of creative, effective, and sometimes, let's just say slightly unhinged mnemonics that students actually use to survive their exams, starting with biology.
This one, from the brilliant minds of Reddit, really highlights a key principle. The more absurd, the better. To remember the levels of taxonomy, that's domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, students came up with this. It's shocking, it's funny, and because of that, I guarantee you will probably never, ever forget it. That bit of humor and outrageousness creates incredibly powerful memory links.
Now here's a really clever system for telling the difference between phloem and xylem in plants. Check this out. The word phloem has an L in it, which you can think of as a check mark. That means it has all the good features. The word xylem starts with an X, like a cross, meaning it's the opposite. And to remember what those features are, just remember the word let. Living cells, end walls, and two-way flow. So phloem gets a check mark for all three. It's simple, visual, and just so effective. You know, some of the best mnemonics are super short and sweet. If you're struggling to remember which DNA bases are the purines, just lock this one little phrase in your mind. Adenine and guanine are pure as gold. The pure reminds you they're purines, and as gold gives you the A and G. So elegant, so easy. A classic for all you chemistry students out there. Need to memorize the 7 diatomic elements? Don't just stare at a list. Just remember the name Brinkelhoff. It sounds like some kind of stern German scientist, right? But it gives you bromine, iodine, nitrogen, chlorine, hydrogen, oxygen, and fluorine in one single unforgettable word. Mnemonics can be auditory too. This one is fantastic. The one-letter code for the amino acid arginine is R. But why R? Well, as some genius student figured out, it's because you say it like a pirate, arginine. Come on, you can't hear that in your head and not remember the letter. It's perfect.
All right, let's switch gears. We're leaving the world of biology and heading into the land of physics and chemistry formulas. These mnemonics are all about turning those abstract equations into memorable and yeah, often slightly inappropriate little phrases.
First up to bat, Ohm's law. The formula is V equals A times R, or as generations of physics students have burned into their brains, virgins are rare. Look, it might be a little crude, but you can't deny that it sticks in your head way, way better than just the letters alone. And it doesn't stop there. How about the ideal gas law? PV equals nRT. How do you possibly remember that specific order of letters? Easy. Just think to yourself, Pure virgins never really tire. Your brain loves a good story, even if it's a ridiculous one-liner.
But these things can handle more than just simple formulas. They can tackle complex sets of rules. For electrical circuits, Eli the Iceman is a classic that helps you remember whether voltage or current comes first for different components. Or in optics, acronyms like LUV, SIR, and SUV are lifesavers that quickly tell you the properties of an image, like if it's larger, upright, and virtual. It's like having a compact little decision tree built right into your brain.
Okay, here's a true chemistry fundamental. Oxidation versus reduction. Which one is the loss of electrons, and which one is the gain? It's so easy to get them mixed up, unless, of course, you just remember oil rig. Oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. A simple, totally foolproof acronym for a concept that trips up so many people.
And this slide just shows you the sheer flexibility you can get. The electromagnetic spectrum can be ordered by increasing frequency or increasing wavelength, so you've got two different mnemonics for the exact same list. Raging Martians invaded Venus using X-ray guns helps you remember the order by frequency, but if the question asks for wavelength, you just pull out great xylophones. You just pick the right tool for the job.
So we've seen some seriously great examples, but the big question remains, why does this work so well? Why does your brain prefer a story about raging Martians over a simple list of waves? Let's peel back the curtain and get into the actual cognitive science.
At the end of the day, mnemonics work because they play by your brain's own rules. First, they anchor new, abstract info to stuff that's already familiar, like words in a sentence. Second, they tap into emotion, humor, shock, just plain weirdness, to forge much stronger neural connections. Third, they chunk these huge streams of data into small, digestible patterns. And maybe most importantly, using a mnemonic isn't passive. It's an active, creative process that gets your mind way more engaged than just reading a textbook.
Which brings us to a final thought to chew on. Are these things just clever party tricks for your memory, or does the act of transforming complex data into a new, simplified structure actually represent a form of understanding in and of itself? When you can explain the rules of optics by just saying SUV, have you just memorized something, or have you actually mastered it? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.